Good morning, traders. What's going on? How are we? All right. As always, I'm going to mark off our overnight levels real quick. And then we'll kind of go over the plan. All right, I'm not going to mark off London high because we're kind of sitting at that right now. And then for ES, so I like watching these levels just for good liquidity sweeps. So the game plan that I made up last night actually would have been great if you were trading the London session. This is kind of what I drew up. The 25,320 level is what I was saying I was watching. And that's actually right where the London session opened at 3 o'clock Eastern time. And then my thought was that we would stop around the 550-ish level, like that would be the first area of resistance. And then if we broke past that, then we could go up to 700. So since that has kind of already played out, at this point, I'm just hoping for a pullback too. So if I go over to my other chart, the value area high from yesterday is sitting right at VWAP. And if you look at the volume profile for this like local range, there's some high volume nodes in that area. When I moved to the, zoomed out a little bit, I know it's kind of hard to see. It makes it messy when I do that. But there's a lot of confluence for that, like 420-ish level, maybe down to 400. So if we get a pullback to this general area, 400 to 420 at the open, I'd be looking to enter long. I really hope it doesn't just blast up. That'd be kind of a bummer because I wouldn't want to chase it. But we are sitting at the previous week high, which was from Friday. And that's kind of where we've been hovering for the last hour or so, 2 hours. So we'll see how the market opens, hoping for a pullback so we can enter a good risk to reward on a long. My mic is really low. Anyone else can't hear me very well? Can you guys hear me okay? Good morning, everyone in the chat. What's up, you guys? Market opens in about 5 minutes. If you guys haven't yet, go hit that like button. I'd love you forever for it. No, seriously, it's just an easy way to help me out. Spread the word, you know, help the YouTube algo. I moved my mic up closer to my mouth, so maybe that helped a little bit. Otherwise, I'll just yell into the mic. What trading platform am I using? So in terms of prop firm, what prop firm am I using? I'll be trading with my Lucid accounts today. If you're asking what like charting program I have up on the screen, this is TradingView. And I actually have my Lucid accounts connected to it on TradeDay. Becoming a new TradeDay user since, you know, the whole Project X drama happened. Won't get into that. So yeah, I have my TradeDay accounts with Lucid, and I'll just be using TradingView, and you guys can see my trades on here, my positions that I'm in. Cool. Glad the sound is working. Philip, you're here to learn. Love it. Any questions you have, feel free to ask. I'd like to think that I'm willing to help, or at least share what works for me. I said it before, not claiming to be an expert, but I figured out some stuff that works for me and helps me get payouts. So if I can help someone else, I'm happy to. All right. Little less than 2 minutes until we open. Again, in case you missed it, just kind of waiting for a pullback. I don't want to be chasing longs up here. Sometimes my little red dot works, so let's see. This is VWAP right here and value area high from yesterday, so that's decent confluence. And then a little bit lower down at point of control. There's quite a bit of support there at 25,400-ish. And then I typically trade NQ. I guess I like the punishment, I don't know. But I have ES on the right and usually watch them side by side just for the extra confluence. Like if they're both bouncing off of a certain support level at the same time or something, it gives me confidence in the trade. Oh man, getting a little FOMO here. I really, really thought about taking a short. I liked this, what looked like a liquidity grab, kind of sweep down, but I don't love entering positions like 10 minutes before the open unless I'm far into the green and I can move my stop loss to break even. I just don't love that. I want to be able to weather the storm at the open, but dang, that's looking good for a short right there. Oh well, let her go, let her go. All right, market's open. Last time I checked, we didn't have any news today. We just have a speaker at 10 o'clock. Fed Bowman testifies. And then Trump has a cabinet meeting later too. But no data releases or anything. All right, we are getting that pullback. That's a good sign. Let's see where to, how far it comes down. All right, I'll move down to the 1 minute chart. Ooh, my red dots get big when I do that. Start marking off our anchored VWAPs for the session. It's funny, I always have people ask why I don't just use an automated indicator for this kind of stuff. Because there are indicators that'll mark off the 15-minute opening range and all that. The reason I do it, I think, is to keep my fingers busy for the first couple minutes of the open. So I don't click the buy or the sell button. I'm busy doing something else. Just my own risk management strategy, I guess. Well, it did come down and kind of grab some of this liquidity here and bounced up, but I'm not convinced for a long right there. I would love to see it come a little bit lower. ES is definitely chopping around a little bit more than NQ is. All right, NQ's coming up to high of the day. Let's see if it continues or if it just kind of sweeps some of that liquidity and drops. Yeah, that's interesting. Look at the difference between the two. NQ and ES are not moving together at all. What is QQQ looking like? Pretty big gap on QQQ. That's interesting. And just straight up. All right, coming up to previous day high right now. And then I have the top of my kind of resistance area is 550-ish. Still don't want to be chasing this thing. Goodness. This is simply a momentum trade. Just gonna see if I can catch a couple points. Keep my stop loss tight. Move up a little bit. If it holds above here, the next area is 700. All right, gonna go ahead and put my stop loss at break even. So if it does pull back, I'll be out. And then if this thing just keeps going up to 700, I'll hold it. Dang, ES just blasted through too. Crazy. Starting to slow down a little bit. If we do end up getting that pullback, I'll close it out. Just gonna keep riding the momentum. Trail super tight. Joe O'Leary, which thoughts? TradingView or Trade-of-8? So you can use both. Like Trade-of-8 would be, it depends on if you want to copy trade or not. If you want to copy trade, you would need to use Trade-of-8 or a third-party copier, which I don't know if you want to get into those weeds. If you're just trading one account, from my understanding, I think you need to have a Trade-of-8 or NinjaTrader account, but you can just connect that broker to TradingView and place your trades in TradingView. I hope that answers your question. So much for a previous day high liquidity sweep and drop. That thing just blasted through. Crazy. All right, cool. I'm good with that. I was just looking to kind of ride the momentum. Now I'll wait for a better trade, better entry. We still have like 4 minutes until the opening range is set. What the heck? Look at ES, how different these two are. That's just weird. I'm on the 1 minute chart, you guys. Look at what the 5 minute. or even if you move out to like the 15-minute or higher, those are some strong candles. All right, let's get a little pullback here. Yeah, Zach, that's kind of what I'm watching too. This 500-ish level, like maybe if it comes down to the bottom of this high volume node, 520. Because if you zoom out and look left, that was pretty decent resistance over the last couple days. Even down to like 500 would probably be a good level. So we shall see. Assuming we don't go any higher, the 50% mark would be right at previous day high. So that's decent confluence for that level too. 541-ish. $83 people watching. Let's get those likes up. Let's go. I actually do have a TradeDay. Words are hard this morning. TradeDay account to give you guys. Let's see if we can get up to 100 likes. Let's do it. Not gonna give me the pullback I wanted, huh? All right, chat, what you watching for? I know Zach and I are kind of watching this previous day high level. What are you guys thinking? G-Man, I saw that. I saw that he was giving away 2 accounts yesterday. And then you posted in his group that you won. I didn't know which one you won. That's exciting. Good for you. All right, we're coming down a little bit. See if we get a reaction at the anchored VWAP, which is at 558, or a little bit lower at like 540-ish. I like that level right there. Something like this. Verisat got in short. Let's go. I'm okay with it going down a little bit. It can keep coming down. You guys, I am freezing. I don't like cold weather. And the last couple days where I live, it's been like in the 40s, 40 degrees, which is cold for Houston. It was 36 degrees this morning when I dropped the kids off at school. And I work out at 5 o'clock in the morning at the gym in a warehouse style gym, so it's not climate controlled. Oh man. It's so hard to get out of bed in the morning. So I get warmed up like by the time I finish my workout, but then I get cold again the rest of the day. And my office is like a refrigerator. I don't know. Something about the vents in this room just don't, or maybe, I don't know, but it's always so cold in here. I need to get one of those little like space heaters to go under my desk. All right, watching ES is coming down to the bottom of this opening range. See if we get some sort of reaction down here, and then watch what NQ is doing at the same time. Looking like a little flag situation on ES. This red line, or green, I'll make it green. That's the anchored VWAP from the high. Is that all you're gonna give us on the pullback? Come on. Walmart space heater. Sounds like a good plan. Yeah, I don't love the cold. And it doesn't get cold that much. There's really only like 2 or 3 weeks a year in Houston, at least, that it gets cold. So I can live through it, but it's not fun. It's always hard with the kids too, because if you guys have kids, you know what I'm talking about, where they grow out of stuff really fast. So all this stuff like gloves and big like cold weather jackets, it's so painful to spend that much money on a jacket that they're gonna wear like 5 times, literally, because next year it doesn't fit them anymore. So thankfully we have a really cool little resale shop here where I usually get that stuff there. But man, like there's like $200 on jackets every year. At least as an adult, you can wear it forever. So ES looked like it got a pretty good bounce, but it rejected that high of day anchored VWAP. Coming back down. Getting heavy. All right, let's see what happens at this opening range low. I could see ES maybe coming down to VWAP, so a little bit lower and then bounce, or see how this candle closes. If we enter somewhere around here, go back up to the top of the range. I feel like NQ has a little bit more room to come down to like 540-ish. So I'm watching to see if ES comes down to maybe VWAP. Staying patient here. Want to get the right entry. Starting off with just 4 contracts on ES. I like that it's bouncing at the opening range low. If it comes a little lower, I'll add. I have room to add to stay within my risk. I liked the level that ES was at a little bit better, so wanted to give that one a shot. thinking about it, trying to figure out where it wants to go. Zooming out to the 5 minutes, looking pretty good. I know we still have 2 minutes until that candle closes, but I like that bounce. NQ is already above Friday's high. Do I have previous week high marked off wrong? No. Previous week high for ES is over here, 68.64. Interesting. All right, so ES got a good bounce off the bottom of the range. Now it's breaking above the New York anchor, or the high of day anchored VWAP. So at this point, my stop loss can go up a little bit. Put my stop loss in at break even. Let's see if we can make it up to previous day high, but I'm not gonna set my targets yet because we also have this resistance area up higher at like 68.70s. And I'm also gonna be watching NQ to see if it ends up getting up to this 700 level. Come on, keep going. NQ is breaking out of the 15-minute opening range high. Come on, ES. Follow. I'll see how it reacts at this opening range high. If it keeps the momentum and just blasts through, then I'll set my first profit targets at that previous week high at 68.64. Looking good. Oh, G-Man, short gold. You've been trading gold during the New York session more these days. Used to just be during Asia. Now it's gold all the time. I think I would need to have like a 6-screen setup before I can trade gold during New York. I have too many different things that I'm watching. Keep going up. Waffles, earlier this morning you were talking about how I needed to have a strong, like not weak, but strong break above Friday's high. I'd say a 130-point push above is a pretty strong break above, yeah? I don't know, I'd say so. Let's just see how the higher time frames close. Watch the 1 hour and the 4 hour. Well, we already had one 1 hour candle close pretty good above it. Looking strong. We're gonna have that Santa rally, is that what they call it? Going into December, new all-time highs this month. Yeah, I got greedy waiting for a pullback. I was able to get this position here on ES, so I feel pretty good about that. But at the open, I was waiting for it to come down to like 420, 400. I had an alert set right here at 425. Didn't even come close to it. Oh, we got someone else short on gold. Targeting 4120s. Good for not. You buying dinner for the group? I like my steak medium rare. That's awesome. Congrats. Come on. Keep going. What's my rule of thumb for choosing targets? Good question. So I use the visible range volume profile for finding support and resistance. So in this case, since we have lots of momentum and it's super bullish, I'm holding. Like if I was in an NQ trade, I'd be holding for 25,715-ish, somewhere in this area. So kind of just similar on ES. I'm going to be watching what NQ is doing around that time. But on ES, if you look left, I guess I look left to see where support and resistance areas are. So I have this first target here because that was the previous week high. Could see some pullback there. And then if we get continuation, I would hold it up to this area at like 68.70s. And that's when I would be watching what NQ is doing around the 25,700 level. So I look left, find support and resistance levels. And then I also kind of gauge momentum too. Like today, you know, it's bullish. There's not really any pullbacks. It's looking really strong. So I feel a lot more comfortable holding it for the bigger target. But what was it, yesterday, I think, where we had kind of choppy price action? It felt more like a see profit, take profit kind of day. Yesterday, if I was in this trade after it chopped around for 2 hours, I probably would have taken my profit at a smaller target, like the 15-minute opening range high or something like that. So combination of looking left to find support and resistance levels and then kind of gauging, is it a trending day or a choppy day? Duck race today, yeah. If we can, if we can get to 100 likes, I do have a TradeDay account to give you guys. Gosh dang it! I don't like that pullback. Come on. The reason I'm not closing this out is because NQ did break above that 15-minute opening range high and it's holding above. So it makes me think ES is working on it. It's just a little behind. I don't like it though. Nope. All right. Well, that one didn't work out very well. Did come down to New York anchor VWAP. Could have just been a bad spot to put my stop loss. Gonna see if it holds here. Could re-enter. Joe, looking for support and resistance levels on the weekly. So yeah, I look at weekly, daily, 4 hour. Definitely look further than the 15-minute for sure. Mine, so I marked off that previous week high just because it's one of the levels I mark off each week. But really, these support and resistance, like the gray shaded boxes, those are from the visible range volume profile. I have a couple videos on it, but it's this right here. It shows the volume on the right side of the screen, and it shows it based on the visible price action on the screen. So this over here. But I zoom out to the 1 hour and the 4 hour and like squeeze as much as I can on there. So it's usually going back a couple months. And that's how I find my support and resistance levels. So it's definitely from the higher time frame. Yeah, so I ended up re-entering this one. It was just a bad placement of my stop loss, which was dumb. Probably not paying attention very well. But this is actually one of my setups that like I have a really big win rate on, is this right here, exactly what it did, where it broke out of the 15-minute opening range, came back and retested VWAP, and now we're getting continuation. So the fact that I didn't give it room to actually do that was kind of dumb. But it's okay. I re-entered. We're good to go. Why am I long on NQ? I'm not. I'm long on ES. But to answer your question, I was in this long and it hit my trailing stop loss when it came down here. The reason I entered this first long is because it bounced off the 15-minute opening range low. And then I re-entered because it came down and bounced off of the New York anchored VWAP, which is this blue line. And now we're getting continuation. So that is why. I'm going to trail my stop loss here in a bit. I would love to see it break this high though at 68.58. I was trying to give it a little bit of room to work since I messed up my stop loss last time. I don't want to see it come back below the opening range high again though, so I will move it. At least so I don't lose money on the trade. There's a lot more movement on ES today than NQ. Look at that volatility compared to ES or NQ. Well, let me make it fair. NQ I had on the 5-minute chart. But still, a lot more movement. Are NQ and ES always going together? Not always, but usually. I like to have them set up side by side just because they do kind of provide confluence for each other. It gives me extra confidence if they're both kind of bouncing off a key level, or they're both like sweeping liquidity at the same time or something like that. It's just added confluence to give me confidence in a trade. I wouldn't say always though, because there's definitely days where there's outliers. Like, I don't know, if, for example, NVIDIA had some news release and it's totally carrying the whole NQ market, then they could not move together necessarily. But usually, yes. Dang it, you guys. It's kind of making me feel like we are going to get a bigger pullback. We're just not getting continuation. I don't like that ES is dropping back below that opening range. NQ is still holding above its opening range high. When I had a 150K account, did I use micros? Yeah, I did. Probably just because I'm a creature of habit and that's always what I've traded. Also, just because I really like to be able to scale in and out of positions. So if I moved up to minis, then I would have been having to trade like 2 or 3 minis, and I'm not ready for that. ES is a little choppier. NQ is starting to come back down a little bit. Let's see if it does bounce at this anchored VWAP. If it comes down to like here. I still think it's going higher. That would be a pretty clear trade. I could put the stop loss below that wick if it came down here. I am going to enter along on NQ. Good retest of that opening range high. Also, I don't watch fair value gaps a ton, but there was that candle there, that 5-minute candle, and it came back down, filled the fair value gap, and bounced out of it. And then ES is bouncing back out of it too. Let's see. NQ had quite a bit of consolidation here, broke out of it. Now it's consolidating again. Lots of struggle in this general area. G-Man, are you still short on gold? Oh, dang. I charted up gold a while ago because I didn't really look at it last night, but I have an alert down at 4203. You're saying it's supposed to go down to 4200. Must be some important level. All right, looks like it's coming down. Dang, G-Man, good job. Yeah, it's kind of looking like the upside momentum has slowed, and we are going to finally get that pullback, which is fine. I'm ready for it. Still up on the day. I know the disadvantage to having it be on this screen is you guys can't see the P&L, but I'm up like $230. So 2 wins, 1 loss, all good. Woo, what a drop. ES is coming all the way down to the opening range low and beyond. Dang. Giving it a shot on ES because it's right at VWAP and opening range low. Probably answered too early though. Too excited. Yep. Glad I got out early. All right. Gonna give it room to do what it needs to do. Duddlepuzz, I have. I actually just did a video on it yesterday, I think, on the difference between Pro and Flex. So feel free to check that one out. It's my latest video that I put out on my channel. But I think it's awesome. It's actually very, very similar to Top Step rules. I think it's going to be one of their easier accounts to get a payout. I like that it's inexpensive. My overall take on it is Flex is a good account if you feel like a newbie, you're a little bit more of a beginner, because there's a lower cost to entry and the payout requirements are easier. Also, the first round of payouts are higher. So there's like the 50K account, for example, is a max of $2,000 per account that you can withdraw. Whereas the Pro account, I think, is better if you're a more advanced trader, and you will probably get more payouts, like a higher amount from the same account, and then possibly move to live, because the upside on the Pro accounts is a lot better. So kind of depends on what kind of trader you are. Where do I normally anchor my VWAPs? I anchor them at the New York Open. That's the main one. So this light blue anchored VWAP is from the New York Open. The darker blue one, this thin blue line right there, that's actually from the session open, like last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then if we have like a high of day or a low of day VWAP that makes sense, I'll anchor it there too. But I don't do those ones as often. So we do have our initial balance set at this point. So it came down to this support area. Previous day high is kind of what I was watching earlier, right around this area, like an hour ago. ES is kind of holding below the opening range low right now and rejecting VWAP. Let's see if it can break back above. I want to see how this 5-minute candle closes. I like the support that's holding on NQ. The part that I don't like is that ES is stuck below some of those levels. So that's the only thing that's making me nervous about it. Thank you, Waffles. I appreciate it. Let's see if this is the move that actually gets us back up there. That's what I was hoping for. 720-ish. Are you gonna make it? Let's see if that's the amount of liquidity it needed to get all the way up to the 700s. We do have initial balance high at 653-ish. Let's see how it reacts there. Might get a little rejection. Oh, we got 76 likes. If we get to 100, I have an account to give away to you guys. I don't know if you guys get more excited about the actual account, like I'm gonna take off part at initial balance high just because I know, like, I'm listening to the voices in my head right now and I'm saying, like, I know it's going up to 700, and I've already had a couple of trades, a couple of positions this morning that hit my trailing stop loss because I'm being greedy and waiting for the home run trade. So all right, I'll listen to the voices in my head. I'll do the right thing. I know. That's the wise thing to do. It's hard when you're sitting here Isn't it silly how emotions come into play so much? Trading live is gutsy. Show some love for the support. I love it. Gutsy or dumb, I don't know. Glutton for punishment. No, it's fun. Hopefully I get to be the person that gives you an example of what a real struggling trader is like. Not one of those YouTube channels where I'm like, I made $60,000 today, let's go. Nope, that's not me. And I'm proud of it, honestly. I don't want to be one of those Lambo driving crazy people. Hopefully I can be the person that just shows what's realistic. Realistic and just, being able to buy your time back. Time freedom. Sit in front of the computer and click a few buttons for a couple hours and then, get to go volunteer at my kid's school. That's what I do. It's pretty fun. Record a few YouTube videos for you guys. Voices in my head, question mark? Oh yeah. I have some loud voices in my head. Anyone else? They're talking to me all the time. I fight with the voices in my head. I have full-on conversations with myself. Even if you win 60 million, you don't want a Lambo? Yeah, well, for me, I have 3 little kids, so it's not functional anyway. I mean, what am I going to do with them? Strap them to the top? I'll get like a super cool mom car. Like a Lincoln Navigator or something like that. No, I love my car. I have a Ford Expedition. And my kids are little, so I wouldn't want a fancy car anyway. They put their feet up on the seats. They have fingerprints all over the windows. There's trash everywhere. And I like having a clean car, so I'm constantly vacuuming it and cleaning it, and it still is a hot mess. Any parents with little kids, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I work hard to keep my car clean, and one car trip with them in there after I vacuumed it, and it's a disaster again. So even if I had, $500,000 to spend on a car, I would not want to spend my money on that until they are out of the house and I can keep my nice car nice and not have them ruin it and put their dirty fingers everywhere. Yeah, Sue, talking about liquidity sweeps. Honestly, that's the framework of a lot of my trades is liquidity sweeps. Like, I mark off all these levels, the opening range, high and low, value area, high and low, previous day, previous week. But really, you could remove all of those levels, honestly, and just look left and find liquidity and see how price reacts. I don't feel like I'm quite at that level yet where I can just look at a blank chart and be able to read those liquidity sweeps. So marking off all these lines and levels helps me. But yeah, that's what most of these trades I've taken have been. You don't have kids, but you have a dog? Yeah, dogs are the same way. Even worse, honestly, because I can vacuum up like food crumbs and stuff from my kids. But vacuuming dog hair, that stuff does not come out. I don't know, maybe it's just my dog's hair, but I have to like scrub with the super high powered wet dry vac and it doesn't come out, man. All right, so it took off those orders. I had an initial balance high. It looks like it's continuing, so I'll put the remaining take profit up at 726-ish. Run the race, you saying get the Lambo for my husband? No. If we're getting a Lambo, I'm driving it. My husband can take the kids. Just kidding. That's not really my style of car anyway. It would definitely be fun to like rent a car like that. Like that's actually on my bucket list of things to do. Is rent a super nice convertible sports car and drive up Pacific Coast Highway in California and go up to, so my parents live in Southern California. I'm going to drop off the kids and then drive up to like Napa, wine country area along PCH in a convertible. That would be fun. But I don't think I would want to drive a car like that every day. It's just not super functional. I've seen a couple people like at the grocery store with their fancy cars. Like they don't even have room for groceries. Yeah, G-Man, I've noticed that too. They're both sitting up at initial balance high right now together though. But yeah, NQ didn't come all the way back down to initial balance low. I'm watching closely here because I don't want this to turn into a failed auction and come all the way back down to my stop loss. So would like to see a good candle closure outside of the initial balance range. I haven't looked, you guys. How are we doing on likes? Are we doing a giveaway today? Let's see. Oh, we got 88. I think we can do it. So far, so good. If this was going to be like a liquidity sweep rejection, I feel like it would have happened already. So let's see how this next 5-minute candle closes right now. If it closes strong outside the range, that would be good. But we still got 4 minutes left on that. So got to stay patient. So 720 is where I'm going to take the rest of my profit, Olga. And that's just a resistance zone that I have drawn up from the higher time frame using the visible range volume profile. But if you zoom out to like the 30-minute or the 1 hour and look left, you can see that there was quite a bit of transactions done in this general area from 710 to 730-ish, maybe even a little bit higher up to like 750. But when I'm taking profit, I usually like to put my orders a little bit lower and not be too greedy. Like it might go up to 740, 750, I don't know. But I'll take it before then. Come on, NQ. Get outside the range and stay there. How do we get a hold of your learning material? So all of it pretty much is available on my YouTube channel. I do have a playlist that I've added most of my strategy stuff to, like how I mark off my support and resistance levels using visible range volume profile, how I trade the 15-minute and the 60-minute opening ranges. There's quite a few videos there that you can kind of filter through. I did put together a course too. I'll be totally honest with you. A lot of what I have in the course is in my YouTube videos for free. The reason I did the course is because it makes it easier to like sort through it step by step instead of filtering through a YouTube channel with 200 videos. So if you want something that's a little bit more step by step, that's in my Discord group. There's a channel that says start here under premium channels. So you can find that there. It's $39 a month, no contract. I didn't want to make it super expensive. So honestly, you could pay for it for 1 month, go through all the videos and cancel. But I also, inside of that, I have a group inside my Discord that trades the same stream you guys get, but YouTube has a delay. So they're live with me. And then we're going to start doing like weekly group calls and trade recaps and all that stuff. So to answer your question, it's all on my YouTube channel, or if you want a little easier digestible version, you can do the premium access. Can I make a playlist? I do have a playlist, Olga. Go to my YouTube channel and click on the button that says playlist, and there's one that says something about trading strategy. I don't remember the name of it, but there is one there. I have a playlist for my strategy. I have a playlist for like mindset type of stuff. I don't like that rejection. Gonna move my stop loss up a little bit more. That's the theme of the day, huh? Just come grab Krista's trailing stop loss. That's the plan. A step-by-step video playlist? I do. That's in my premium group. But if you check out my playlist in the YouTube channel, all of it's there too. All right, NQ. Follow ES. Just break outside the range and keep going. Gonna make us sweat through some chop. I know, right? Goodness. Yeah, my future trading strategy. That's what it's called, Olga. It's all in there. I have a couple videos on how I mark off my levels, like each weekend, everything that I do to prep my charts, my 15-minute opening range, my 60-minute initial balance, all of the strategies are in there. How much do I trade with? So this is a prop firm, and I typically use the 50K accounts. People have asked me why, like, why don't you trade the 150Ks? I think I've said this before, I'm a creature of habit. I started with the 50K, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But when I first started, I chose the 50K accounts just because the profit target seemed so much more achievable. You know, when like you're a newbie trader and you see this 150K account that has a $9,000 profit target, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so much money. I can never do that. So I chose the 50K account because I had a $3,000 profit target. And I just stuck with it. I actually like the 50K accounts a little bit better for me personally because it makes me stay more reasonable with my risk management. When I go up to the 150Ks and I have, you know, $3,000 in drawdown or whatever it is, I'm like, I can do like double the size. I can go 15 contracts. And then 3 days later, the account's blown because I was trading like a degen. So the 50K is a good spot for me to be at. Oh, we're getting close. 92. Let's go. You guys really want that deck race. All right, let me get the form ready. So one thing I'm watching here is ES is coming up to this previous week high at 68.64. If we get a quick like liquidity grab rejection there, I'll be watching what NQ does, because this could turn into a rejection and failed auction here too. So going to watch and see what happens. I'll trail my stop up a little bit more too. ES didn't even come all the way up to previous week high, but it is kind of rejecting in that area. I don't like it. Looks like it's coming from a stop loss. All right, failed auction it is. That would have been a good short right there. Anybody take a short on that one? Verisat, are you still in the chat? That's like your move right there. Against the trend scalp short. I know you were in that one. I knew it, Verisat. I could just see your name written all over it. All right, it's coming back down to VWAP. Is it gonna hold there? I don't know if I want to take any more trades. I'm kind of annoyed with, I don't know if I'm annoyed with price action or my management of my trades today. 3 of them hit my trailing stop loss. Still green, like I can't be mad about that. I'm up $418, so that's good. Just could have been more, you know? Coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? $95. Let's go. All right, close enough. Let me grab the link. I'll put it in the chat for you guys. We got a 50K TradeDay account. By the way, you guys, if you haven't checked out TradeDay, they have daily payouts, which is a cool feature. So their eval is a little bit longer. It's a 5-day eval, but once you pass the eval, all handcuffs are off. You don't have the like 5 days minimum of trading and 40% consistency or anything like that. You make money, you can withdraw it today. So that's what we'll be giving away today. So click on that form, put your info in, and we'll do a duck race. I'll give you guys about 5 minutes. We'll go to like 10:15 Central, 11:15 Eastern. Give you guys some time to fill it out. Do I like TradeDay better than Lucid? It's hard to say. I like them both. I trade with them both. I think I like Lucid better for the ease of, I think payouts are a little bit easier with Lucid because you can pass the eval faster, and then the rules in the payout phase are not that tough. Like if you have the flex account, it's no consistency. If you have the pro account, it's 40% consistency, which is still really loose in my opinion. So I think it's a little easier with Lucid. It's also cheaper. I mean, their promotion right now, a 50K account is what, $78 or something like that. It's roughly that. I would have to look at their website to confirm, but it's a little cheaper. TradeDay is right around $100 for a 50K end of day drawdown account, so it's a little higher. And then the eval, it's not hard to pass. I don't want to say that, but it definitely messes with you mentally because you have to trade 5 days, 30% consistency. So you have to take it slow to pass the eval. You can't trade like a degen and like pass it in 1 day like you might do with Lucid or some of these other ones. So I think you just have to be in the right mindset with TradeDay to like be ready to take it slow. But once you get to the funded stage, it's amazing. So you guys that are in Discord, I'll put your name in. You don't have to fill out the form. I'll put your name in for the race. I got you. Yeah, Zach, that was an amazing field auction. I did not take it. I was in this long and blinded by the fact that I was so convinced it was going up to the 700s, which it probably will. Just not while I'm in a trade. That's all right. ES is coming back down to that initial balance low region. NQ is coming down to VWAP. So far, it's not looking like it's gonna hold, but it could be potentially grabbing this liquidity here at 520, possibly bounce. Let's see what happens in this 5-minute candle. I like it. NQ is bouncing at VWAP. ES came down to the opening range low and is bouncing. 42. Is it actually going to continue this time, or is it going to keep dumping? I don't know. All right, it's past that 10:15 mark. Let's see. Last call, you guys. If you're in the chat and you didn't hear me earlier, I did put a giveaway form in the chat. Go click on it. I'll start sorting through, make sure we don't have any duplicates, and we'll do a duck race. Oh, G-Man, you took a short. I just saw that. Very nice. Are you still in a short? Or did you take profit at VWAP? I know you like watching VWAP. Dang, you got in at 643? That was a good entry. Depending on how long you held it, that was a good trade. All right, checking through, making sure we don't have any duplicates, and then we'll get this thing rolling. Charles, I see your name in here. Stinger, did you put yours in? I want to make sure I got you guys. All right, cool. And then Jay Brazen, I got you. Run the race, did you put yours in? No, I'll add you. You're good. All right, I got everyone. Are you guys ready for this? This might be the best part of the day. These duck races are fun. All right, on your mark, get set, go! Dun dun dun! We got a couple people off to a hot start. Slow and steady. Who's gonna pace this one right? We got a little worker duck. Sarah's the construction crew for the day. Who's it gonna be? We got 30 seconds. Time to push it. Who's gonna make a move? Come on. Robert has a mohawk. That's awesome. G-Man. Oh my goodness. Eva. Oh, Tom. We have a unicorn duck. Oh my gosh, you guys. I love that Tom is the unicorn duck. You guys, I'm going to have to show my daughter this on replay. She's going to be so excited that there was a unicorn duck. That's funny. All right, Tom, are you in the chat? Where's Tom? Tom! You gotta be here. Oh yeah, Olga, you don't like drive the duck or anything. It's just, it's a fun way to do like a drawing. It's just random. But having a duck race is a whole lot more fun than not. Who sets the speed? The internet? I don't know. The randomization of the website? All right, Tom, I'm going to give you like 20 more seconds. You gotta tell me you're here. If not, we'll do a redo. Woo! What happened here? My goodness. All the way down to the bottom of the range. That's crazy. Is Tom here? Ah, okay. There he is. Awesome. All right. If you are in the Discord, click on my name and send me a DM so I can verify it's you, and then I'll send over that TradeDay account for you. I'll get you all set up. Very cool. All right, you guys, I think I'm gonna call it there. Looks like we are dumping. So if this thing reclaims the initial balance high, we could possibly be looking at a liquidity sweep to go higher, but that was a pretty big drop. There's potential of levels that it could come lower. So I'm not going to be ticking along right now trying to catch a falling knife. All right, guys. I'm going to call it there. Come hang out in Discord. I'll be sharing any